Today we will complete our notes for potential energy. You will need your green science folder, you need a pencil, and you'll need a red marker. And we are going to go ahead and get started. So in our science folder, we have page 1, and that's our basic information on energy. Page 2 was kinetic energy. And today we will be filling in page 3. So let's go ahead and number our page. And we are going to use our red marker for our heading of our page. And our heading today is going to be potential energy. And we're going to write it with our red marker. Potential energy. All right. And we are going to go ahead and begin with a basic definition of what potential energy is. So potential energy and just like yesterday, I'm going to go ahead and underline those. Potential energy is the energy that is reserved for a later time. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and put one more sentence. Objects with stored energy have the potential to gain motion. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and underline the word stored. And the reason for that is that you can use the words potential energy and stored energy interchangeably. They mean the same thing. All right, so potential energy is the same thing as stored energy, but potential is more of a scientific term than stored. So in 4th grade, I think it's important for us to make sure we're using the correct vocabulary. Okay, and I'm going to take my red marker and I am going to underline the word potential. Now, if you have potential, or a person has potential, that means they're not there yet, but they could. All right, so when you think about potential energy, you can think about objects that are not moving yet, but they could. So if they are not moving yet, they are stopped. They are not moving. So the significance of using the red marker for potential energy is because potential energy are objects that are still. They are not moving. All right, so red, I think of a stop sign, stop. My car is no longer moving. We are sitting still. Potential energy of objects, the object is sitting still. It is not in motion. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and put some examples in our notebook of potential energy. And these examples are going to relate to the examples that we used for kinetic energy. For example, for kinetic energy, we had a book falling off of a table. An example using a book with potential energy would be a book on the edge of a table. Okay, because if the book is on the edge of a table, it is sitting there. It is still. It is not moving toward the floor. It is just sitting still. All right, our kinetic energy illustration with an arrow was the arrow after you release it from the string. All right, an arrow in potential energy would be when the arrow is pulled back and it's still. When an archer pulls their arrow back, they pull the string and the arrow back, and that's when they work on their aim. While the arrow is pulled back and still, the arrow has potential energy. All right. Yesterday we talked about a bicycle rolling or moving down a hill was kinetic energy. An example of a bicycle having potential energy would be bicycle at the top of a hill. So the bicycle has potential to go down the hill, but it's not going down yet. It is sitting still at the top. All right, and finally, yesterday our barbell example for kinetic energy was the process of the weightlifter pushing the barbell up into the air. And once they get the barbell over their head, they hold it there in the air. They hold it still. So our example here for potential energy would be your barbell is held in the air. They have stopped the movement and the barbell is held in the air still above their head. Okay, so once again, these are our notes for potential energy. Potential energy in objects, the objects have the potential or the possibility of getting into motion or moving, but they're not yet. So that's again why we use the red marker for potential energy, because potential energy is stopped. It is not moving. Okay, so those are our notes for potential energy.